What's up, you guys? It's K-Mac here, and I'm
And
doing
my
a
brother got
Sophia
the game.
reaction video. I actually kind of already watched either a lot of this or most of it, and I actually like timestamped a lot of shit for myself here. Uh, so she's crazy. She's crazy in this one. Shout out to the usual. Shout out to Heinsbug. Shout out to Santoki. You are definitely living rent free in Sophia's head. It's amazing. Shout out to I've got shout out to the lovely, lovely Sophia Archive, who Vocal also recognizes does most of the hard lifting here. And then shout out once again to Vocal, who has been nothing but nice and kind to me and helpful and supportive. So having someone like that have a community like he does, he deserves it because of the type of person he is, which Sophia likes to brag about all the time, like the type of person that she is when she's like the shittiest type of person that exists. So anyway, I'm just looking for one more thing here, guys. I didn't lose this thing I just bought. Okay, there we go. Sorry. I'm outside right now. I'm hoping I can do this one since it's only like 40 minutes. I'm hoping I can do this for an hour. I'm gonna pause a lot less. I'm only gonna speed her up a little bit so that I have more time to speak over her. And I just want to finish it fast so I can like go do stuff with my wife. And she's kind of pissed that I'd rather work on this, but whatever, Like everyone's got their own hobbies, right? You can't do every single thing all day with your spouse. It's kind of rougher actually because I only get to see her like a couple months, so it kind of sometimes feels like I do have to cram in as much time with her as possible, but it's just impossible to like be around someone 24 hours a day. If we were living together back in the States, like I wanted, we both have jobs and going to work, seeing each other at home instead of sitting there all like I sit there all day while she works at home and stuff. So just because I'm in another country, I don't have to. I like to do go out and do stuff if I wanted to in the middle of the day, but like I don't know, not much to do here, and the sun is crazy, and I just get sunburned like crazy because I'm whiter than Casper, and yeah. All right, anyway, guys. Also, shout out to the fans. Shout out to Rady. Shout out to Sun Jing, and shout out to Scottly Puff. And then there's some new person that commented on my video, and I'm gonna check their name. And shout out finally to this person here, the newest person to leave a comment, my newest like fan or at least viewer, Miku Baby. And guess what she said? She said what I had said about prazosin, a random medication that most people either don't know about or only know about if they have heart problems. I actually knew that it was for nightmares, either relating to PTSD or other reasons, because she literally says she started it for PTSD nightmares, and then it changed and it actually helped her. Sophia, why would you want to take a medication that can help you? Oh yeah, because it has side effects. Did you guys know that medications have side effects? Anyway, also it was kind of funny because it was just proof that like when I joke about having like a this lady said that I don't know why it says four responses, right? Or four replies, but like they're all missing except for one. I don't know what's going on with that, but she claimed that she was a pharmacy tech as well, and so I know what the fuck I'm talking about when it comes to drugs, you guys, and not just like illicit street drugs, although I do know a lot about those. Like just drugs in general, because growing up, like I said, I had really sick immediate family members, and I did a lot of research on my own, like both through medical journals, through pharmacokinetic studies, like I had said before, those pieces of paper that they put in with your medicine that you throw right into the recycling, that stuff. Tons of research on, in particular, anti-rejection medications for organ transplantation, sirolimus, tacrolimus, things of that nature. Which, by the way, tacrolimus was originally discovered in I believe, a fungi or mushroom or something in the Amazon rainforest. So the fact that there are all of these, this is so off topic before I start, but it's just I guess just a general thing. The fact that there are literally like plants and mushrooms out there that have chemicals in them that like can do some of the craziest things that we need our human body to do, like completely suppress, or not completely, but suppress your immune system enough to the point where you don't reject a foreign organ. Like that's wild that we found that shit in a fucking mushroom in the Amazon, and we're right now we're actively destroying all of that shit. Is the point I was trying to get at. So like we're actively destroying all the forests and shit in the U.S. more than ever now because of the administration. They're actively doing it now more than ever in other countries because all these climate goals that everyone agreed to hit, as soon as we said, well, fuck that, we're not hitting them, they all said the same thing. So it's just It's just crazy, you guys. Like, eh, one second. Yeah, it's just crazy that we're like destroying plants and shit that might have literal cures for cancers in them, but we'll never know because we destroyed the like the only area where the species existed on the planet. How many species go extinct every day now? Like, and that includes plants, insects, everything. Like most people think, oh, extinct just a mammal or like some sort of like reptile or something like that. But I'm talking about bugs. I'm talking about other types of shit, viruses. Like everything, everything.
If you
Anyway,
smell
let's start.
something rancid, it's because you're smelling
I want to
yourself. You
get
can't
through
smell
this.
through the screen. When it comes to
I
money,
want to
I'm
get
very
through
good
this
at
like with
saving
a
money.
4 to 3
My dad
level.
wasn't
I want to do
strict.
this in one
I
hour,
couldn't go out and do things, but I could
and
game.
I'm not gonna
Oh,
count
this
my
one
my
kid,
5 minute intro.
Jonathan,
I'll
he
give
used
myself that
to
break.
pick on me all the time.
Wow, you used to get
Subscribe if
picked
you
on all the
enjoyed,
time in middle
please.
school. That's
But
never
I don't
happened
make
to
money
anyone
off of
else
that.
before.
I don't make money when I talk about people at
Yes,
all.
you do.
Defend the system.
You
Who said I'm
try
defending
to.
any system?
You try
Did
to.
I
You
say
just
I
don't.
was
You're not
defending
getting
the
paid because
system?
your content's either too low
I'm not
quality or
defending the
because
system when
you're
I said I'm
banned
not
from
getting
a
help
platform
from
for
the
some
government for my
still
housing.
some
How is that
nebulous
defending the system?
reason that you're
That
not
dude
on
was
TikTok.
lying. I'm not defending the system. He's talking about homeless people because he's making money off the homeless people. He doesn't care about the homeless people. And it wasn't even about him
So
caring
if
about the
you
homeless
weren't
people.
homeless,
It's
you
about
wouldn't
him
give two fucking shits about homeless people. When you lived in your house and all those years before you guys got evicted, when did you say a single thing about feeling bad for homeless people or doing anything to help them?
telling people that homeless people
God, I'm
are on
already buzzed.
drugs and they're not wanting to get the help when that's not the case. Tell the real truth. Because they ain't gonna talk about that. He did an interview because he got paid.
Also,
Content creators
as I said
don't do
before, that
anything
is
for
true for
free.
some people. Like, there are just some people that will never stop using heroin. I've met some of them, and they're like 50, 60, and it's just at that point in their life, they're just not going to quit. It's just become their life, like that is their life now. To change it at that late in their life, like what, for the last 10 or 20 years of their life, most people don't want to do that. So there will always be a certain percentage of people that are addicted to stuff, and that you'll never be able to cure. Just like there's always going to be a certain percentage of people that need help, that need some sort of welfare, that you'll never be able to just eliminate completely. There's always people that will need help, and always people that will need, a hand to be extended to them. But the problem with Tofia is that like a million hands get extended to her, but all they ask her to do is like reach back, right? All they ask her to do is to like get a job, even a part-time job or something, and they will help her. They're sticking their hand out to grab her, and instead of her grabbing their arm and their hand, she's grabbing a cinder block. So like that's why it's so wild. Oh God, I gotta
Mind you,
be
when
right
those
back in
dudes
one more
walked up and
second,
said,
guys. I gotta pause. You won't notice it. All right, I'm back, you guys. Sorry, I know you probably don't care about this, but I swear to God, every fucking lighter I bought for like the past week has just not been functional. So I'm trying to like spark this one with like I don't know why the flame is so tiny. It's really weird. Very confused. I'm using like a dead lighter. Sorry, I meant to unpause. And when I say dead lighter though, I mean like there's like nothing left in
hey,
it,
can
or it
we
looks
interview
like there's
you? I was
nothing
like,
left.
yeah, sure.
But when I spark it, there's still stupid lighter. I bought it. Worked perfectly yesterday. I even did the trick where you take the metal. If anyone out there who smokes or used to smoke, who used to play around with lighters or whatever, you know that these cheap, they're called crack lighters. I wish that they sold me a Bic, but it doesn't look like they sell Bic in this country. At least not for lighters at stores that I've gone to. Yeah, these are crack lighters, as we call them in the US. They're the clear, translucent plastic ones that, like, they're not even worth the money, essentially, because well, this was like $1 or something, right? But this thing is not going to last close to what $1 does. Whereas if you get like a $2 or $3 Bic, that shit is going to last until it runs out of fluid. So this thing's already like I have a green one that I already had to buy a new one because the green one, even though it's totally half full still, like it doesn't want to spark. And then this new one which sparked fine yesterday. Sorry, this is all off topic. Let's pissed about it right now.
Thank you for the gift points. Because there's no other way for me to survive. When you're talking about why do I rely on that? Because otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford to live.
Wow, that's
I don't
crazy,
have other
Sophia. What does
choice
that
but to
tell you
rely
about what
on
you're
the
doing?
system I don't. Just like how we're over here complaining about high prices, but then we have no choice but to buy these things at this price because we can't afford it. Are you gonna starve? or are you gonna? So
Sophia, then why did you just
a
spend all
lot of
that time
people sit here and
complaining about
complain
it?
about
You literally just said, "Oh my God, these things are all so horrible. It's all I'm going to complain about." And now you're saying what? You're complaining about these things? Why are you complaining about them? They're totally
how high
normal.
food prices are.
What is
So
wrong with
start
your
start
brain?
then.
How can you pull
Don't
such a
buy these food.
crazy
Don't buy the
mental
food if it's high
180 in
prices,
terms of
right? Again,
mental
we
gymnastics?
don't have no other
That's some
choice
really
or
like
no
cult
other way.
punk
It's
shit.
not
You know what I
about a
mean? Like
job.
I
It's
don't
not
know
about
what else to
anything like that.
compare it to.
Get a job and you
That makes
still can't
no
afford to live,
sense.
and you know that. They
What do you
expect you
mean
to.
you know that? Everyone on here is making fun of you, and this is the Vocal already pointed out, and I noticed it in Sophia. God damn, I always miss on hockey. As I pointed out before, I know quite a lot of bit about film, more about history and like tech, like general genres than specific techniques. But I do know quite a little bit about techniques. And once again, this is called a low angle shot. This is where you have the camera below the subject aimed up at them. It makes them look bigger. It makes them fill the frame more. There's a lot of like Clint Eastwood low angle shots in the Man with No Name trilogy, you know, like those types where like it's like there's a guy laying on the ground, or even in Indiana Jones, there'll be a guy that like he whips and he's laying on the ground. He looks up at Indy and the camera's going up at him. Actually, Indy's first reveal shot is like just a medium shot after the whip, but basically, like they do that a lot in those movies to make that person, or to make a villain in Tophia's case, look larger, more imposing, and more intimidating. So she's literally picking the least flattering camera angle that she can. I mean, look at how enormous she looks, you guys. Look at these jeans. And I mean, the shirt already doesn't fit, but I cannot believe that she looked in the mirror and thought I should put these jeans on. I, I cannot believe that. That's unreal.
Make
That she looked in the mirror and was like,
three
"Yeah, I'm going
times the
with this."
rent.
Sorry,
They're
I guys.
not
I've already
making
used
three
up so
thousand
much
dollars
time.
working at McDonald's. The only way you can
They might be.
survive
What
or
are you
you can
talking
afford to
about?
live
Why does she
is
always
if you're
say that?
living
How
with
do
a
you know?
roommate, someone
Sophia,
who is
you
also
don't
helping you
work,
pay
so
some
how
of
do
the
you
bills.
know what
I'm not
someone
going to live
can
with
and
someone
can't
I don't know.
survive
I've
off
already
of?
said that. For
I don't
my
get that.
safety, if I don't know the person, I ain't going to live with them. That's just that. I'm
Okay,
not going to
so
put my life in someone else's hands. You
what do
never
you
know
mean in
if the
someone
person could get
else's
up
hand?
and
What
leave,
about
not pay the half of their rent. You don't know if that person.
wow, didn't that happen with your dad not paying all of the rent and you guys got evicted and had to squat in an apartment with no electricity and no water like a bunch of pathetic squatter loser
Who's
cockroaches?
going to end up harming you in the
Wonder
end
if
and
that
you end
happened
up
to
on a
you
Dateline
already.
episode. You don't know any of that.
She's so
I like to
paranoid.
stay in
Like
my
she's
comfort
already
zone.
once again
I
putting the
like
cart
to
before the horse.
be
She's
around
already
someone that I
assuming if
know.
I
It's kind
live
of
with a
like
roommate to
living
save
with some
money, they will
rando. I'm
kill
not
me
gonna
and
live with
chop
some
me up and
rando
I'll be
just
on
because
Dateline.
I need a
You're
place to
not the
live
woman
and I
that
need
lands
house
on
paid.
up on. You know who
No, let's
lands
call it for
on
what
those
it really
Datelines,
is.
Sophia?
I'm
People with
stressed
a beautiful
most of the
smile who
time
light up the room.
for the
You
simple
do none of
fact
those.
is
You do none
I
of those
can't
things.
afford
So
to live. You can't afford to live. Nobody can afford to live, and you're sitting here trying to tell someone when you can't afford to live. You know
how
what
do you
it
know that?
is? Maybe your state is a good state to live in, but here you're not making $3,000 at McDonald's. You're not making nearly enough to afford to
How do
live,
you know that?
and
You've never
minimum wage.
tried. Let's look up what minimum wage is in New Mexico in case it's higher than federal minimum wage, right? Sorry, I think I spelled New Mexico wrong. Fucking squat. What an asshole I am. How do I spell Mexico? 12 per hour for non-tipped employees. And what's federal? I think the federal's still pretty low. Where I live, it's $15. So $12 for per there, assuming federal. 725. Okay, so 12 an hour. So 12 times 40 times 4. We'll do 40 hours a week, 4 weeks a month. So you get two checks. Okay. Uh, 12 hours times 40 a week times 4 weeks. So if you're working 40 hours a week at McDonald's, it's $12. Let me just make sure I did some math right because it seems weird. 40 hours a week, $12. You multiply that by 4. So yes, Sophia, you wouldn't be making 3,000, you'd be making 2,000 a month. But since you work for 12 months, you would make ultimately $26,000 a year working the lowest minimum wage job possible. to the point where you would be in the lowest tax bracket, get nothing but refunds essentially. And if you were also working, by the way, all of these other programs that I talked about, the housing, the money, all that shit, if you're working or showing proof every week that you're looking for work 40 hours a week, they're going to help you a lot more than if you're being lazy doing nothing compared to the person busting their ass at McDonald's for $12 an hour trying to get out of the homeless shelter. That's what you don't understand, Sophia. Like, people will help you if you help yourself. If you're this fucking broke and this fucking poor, like making this little, yes, there are organizations that will help you, and they are going to help you a lot quicker than if you don't make this. Because if you don't make this, what do you even bring to the table for them, like to advocate on your behalf? You don't bring any income for them to advocate on your behalf. So like they can't go to the landlord and be like, look, they only make X amount of money, we're subsidizing Y. They can't give you EBT because you don't like file your taxes or you're still claimed as a dependent or as I've spoken before, you haven't shown the 40 hours a week. So like I think that's why she gets the night snap. And it's just like amazing. Like she's shitting so hard. Yeah, you wouldn't make 3 grand a month. You'd make two. I actually make more than this. It's shocking to me. But yeah, I like just you make 2 grand a month before taxes. You probably take on 1,500. But like, Sophia, where are you now? And she's talking about, oh, I couldn't get a roommate. You could find a room probably for like 300 or 400 bucks in New Mexico, Albuquerque, I would imagine. Not in the best neighborhood, but I'm just going off of the lowest paying job too. And I'm doing, just I was just doing two, every 2 weeks, like a bi-weekly, like instead of a bi-monthly, I did bi-weekly. So you actually get an extra couple
This
bucks. Yeah.
paycheck stuff, the minimum
Instead of
wage was
instead
not
of
for
20, 40.
people
Yeah.
actually. Minimum wage was
But
for
it's
college
actually
students. That's
just
how
insane.
minimum wage came about. There's
Minimum wage
no
came.
such thing as a living wage. A living wage was created for college students
So what she meant to say is a minimum wage. She can't even
in school.
speak
So
English,
why do we
and she
have a
just
living
said the
wage?
sentence
Look
correctly
up the
a
origins of a
minute
living
ago.
wage
Not even
or
a
where
minute
a
ago,
living
five
wage
seconds
comes from.
earlier. She said it
Thank
correctly.
you.
And then she said it totally wrong a second later.
Keep
College has nothing to do with a living wage unless you're talking about all the college professors that support it. In which case, yes.
But
Oh my God, this
it
thing
is
is
what it
fighting
is.
me.
But it is 100% true. I can't afford anything on my own. If I didn't have Medicaid, I probably would have died. Anyways,
That's
what I
probably
was
true.
going to say is that Santori, Karuna literally is an ASMR channel. So how are and here's the thing, and my mom did mention this too about Ask Too Trippy, right? Let's get into it. Ask Too
Let's get
Trippy's
into it.
page is a true crime page.
So
So
what?
instead of talking
What
about
is your
true crime, you're
page?
talking
A
about people.
fucking rant my
Then
life
take true
problems to
crime out
strangers?
of your name. You're not a
God,
true
this
crime
lighter
page.
is driving me crazy.
You're not talking about true crime.
Oh my
I
God.
love how people
I'm gonna
love
shoot
to.
myself.
You built a platform around
I have to
true
go buy
crime
another
and
one.
then you
I'm
try to
too much
pivot
fucking
that.
cash to do
People
this.
are going to unfollow you if you're not talking about true crime. They're going to
How do
unfollow
you
your
know
page.
that? How do you know that she's not gonna
Change your name
kick me
from
out?
true crime if you're not really going to talk about true crime, right? That's the same thing with Karuna. She's literally an ASMR page, but she's talking about me. You're not a T page, you're an ASMR page. People didn't
Why can't people? Ow! I just burned the shit out of myself. Fuck. Why can't people pivot their pages? You've literally taught. You talk in this video
follow
about
you for
pivoting your
T, they
page to
followed you for
gaming. You talk about that shit
ASMR.
all the time, and she
If
goes
I
into
saw
depth
that
about
follow
it in this video.
pages,
Damn, I just
I
burned the shit
literally
out of
followed
my
this
face. Son of
account
a
for
bitch.
singers, right? It was a page that posted very
Almost
talented singers.
died.
All of a sudden, I think they sold the account. That's what I really
What?
think.
So what does that
Whoever
have to
was
do with
behind
anything?
the account sold the account to someone else, and now they post OF girls or whatever about
Okay.
girls that have OF and here's her OF, and I'm like, I didn't
Okay.
even follow this page for that. I followed it for singing, and now
So
it's just
just
completely
don't click on
changed.
it. What are you
Some of
talking
y'all
about?
really,
Leave
like
then.
your
What do you
niche, you need to get back
like?
into your niche. You're not
There's
doing
no one else you
ASMR.
can
You're talking
watch out
about
there?
me. You're not. Then take ASMR
Also,
out of
why
your
does
name
she?
and
No,
just be
so
a T page
stupid.
if you
Yeah,
want
let me
to.
just. Sophia, how about you just totally rebrand? When you change to gaming, instead of calling yourself Tofiachu or like Tofiachu Games, why don't you just start calling yourself Max Jones and see how
If
it
you're not
works
going
for
to do
you?
ASMR, then take it out
It's
of
a
your
fucking
name. You're
stupid
riding on
asshole
the
idea.
coattails of the fact
There's
that you
no
went
way
viral for
you're riding on
ASMR
the
and you
coattails of the fact that you had one video that hit 50 million views, and she also thinks that's 50 million unique visitors, as if 50 million people watched her video, probably closer to 15 to
Can't
20
let
million.
go of that. Why did you bring up
Shut the
that
fuck
old
up.
thing? We ain't even talking about him.
You
I
just,
already
what are
explained
you
why I did
talking?
that. He asked
I
for
guess maybe
it.
she's talking
She
to someone
can't
in the
talk
chat.
about what she wants if her name is literally ASMR. People didn't follow her for tea, they followed her for ASMR.
So what?
If
But now they,
she can
okay,
talk
but she
about whatever she
changed
wants.
her
No one,
content.
I'm not saying that. But I say she
So,
can't talk
okay, so
about
you
me.
literally just said she could talk about whatever she wants.
But if she's going to talk about people, then she should take ASMR out of her name.
What?
People talk
That's
about
the
whatever.
hill you're gonna die on? You literally just said she can do whatever she wants with her channel, but then you're also saying that she should take that out of her name just because she does it less or doesn't do it anymore. Once again, Sophia, when you rebrand your channel to do gaming, which will never happen, this is the pipe dream is it's like crazy your pipe dreams, how like mundane they are and how impossible it is for her to accomplish. But when that happens, rebrand yourself as Max Jones Gaming and tell me how that works
Whatever
for you.
she wants.
Oh, why would I rebrand? I'm still Tofiachu. Okay, but your content is no longer you staring into a camera speaking about nonsense. Now it's you gaming. So you should remove Tofiachu from your fucking channel name and name it Max Jones Gaming. Like,
No one, I'm not saying that. But I say she can't talk about me. But if she's
you're
going to
literally
talk about
saying that.
people,
You're
then she should
complaining
take
about her talking
ASMR out
about
of
you
her
right
name.
now. What does that have?
People,
No, she
if I
doesn't.
made myself a T page and I start doing ASMR, people are not gonna follow me. People are
That's
gonna
not, how do
unfollow.
you know that? You don't know what her metrics look like. And you could, even if they're like one of the, I don't know how big her page is, but if they're like one of the ones you can look up the public metrics of, maybe you go take a look. Like Sophia, maybe for once look something up. Maybe for once search a channel's metrics and see if she's now excuse me, that was a bad accent trip on my part, gaining subscribers versus losing them. Because your argument is that she'd lose them because she's not doing ASMR, but she's pivoted clearly because she's probably getting more views that way. So why don't you go take a look at her analytics and tell me what's what? Tell me if she's losing or gaining or
Follow
if
me
it's
because I'm
swapped
doing
a pattern
ASMR instead
or
of talking
created one.
about tea. That's the whole point. It's not being jealous. She's no
Yes, it
longer an
is.
ASMR page. She's a T.
Okay, guys. Okay, Sophia. Give me 1 second. I gotta call up the jelly school. Okay. Hello, jelly school. How are you today? Okay, I'm doing okay. Listen, I know we called you yesterday about a student we have named Sophia Slidell, and I know that she's extremely jelly. Okay, this girl just has jelly all over her. She needs to be cleaned up. Okay, she needs to not be allowed to eat the jelly. Okay, because she's got a little bit of a weight problem there. Okay, but okay. Uh, so Sophia, do you want to go to the jelly school? But hang on 1 second, jelly school. Let me see what Sophia wants. Sophia, okay. Do you want to go to the jelly school? No, you don't want to go to the jelly school. Are you sure you don't want to go to the jelly school, Sophia? They have an opening, and you seem really, really jelly. Okay, you're sure that's a no about the jelly school? Okay, I'll tell them. Jelly school? Yeah, yeah. I just spoke to Sophia. She's gonna give it another try again for the 784th time, but maybe next time she'll agree to go to the jelly school. Okay? All right, thanks guys. Okay, have a good day. Okay.
T
Mr.
page.
Mackey when he
She
did
picks
that. He did a
fights with random
video.
people for no reason.
It's
If your
not random
ASMR
people
was
for no
doing that
reason.
good, you wouldn't need to pick fights for no reason. You don't
Yeah,
see
Sophia.
ASMR pages talk about people because they're
Yes,
about
you
ASMR.
do.
It's their niche. You're sitting here talking about
Yes, you
people. You
do.
pick
Some people
random.
talk about the stuff in the A. They talk really quietly, and I know that my voice, when I'm not cleaned up, is actually like can be quite deep, reassuring to people. But I also can change my octaves pretty well. So, you gotta axe Michelle. That's a little bit of an
Fights
inside
with
joke.
people for no reason. It was brought up on TikTok. There's a video about it that says she picks fights with people for no reason, and they didn't even know why she's fighting with someone. It was
I'm
random.
sure you
You're
know
an
why
ASMR
she's going
page.
after
You're
you.
not a T page. You want to be a T
Why
page?
can't you
You're
be
chasing.
both?
I
Why
don't
can't you
even
be
know what
both?
happened, y'all.
Don't
I don't even
change
know
your
what's
page.
going
No,
on.
don't.
This
There's
is
no
so
reason to do that.
crazy.
Sophia,
But
you
thank you
changed your
guys for
page
the
when you
gift
became a gaming
points.
channel.
I'm bi for attention.
Fucking
I'm not,
hypocrite.
but I am really not. They're not small. They're actually my size. I bought them for the team.
Are you kidding me, Sophia? Guys, has she ever told a bit, literally and metaphorically? Has she ever told a bigger lie than these pants aren't small on me? These pants look like if a button snapped, they would get launched into space from the amount of force that they're holding behind them. Like these would be the first pair of denim jeans to go into orbit on their own. That's unbelievable. You just said that. You guys, that's crazy. I'm gonna timestamp that shit. That is out. That is out of control. What's my timestamp? Sorry, I have to mark that in the description. 2520. Or we'll just do 25. Go from there. Okay. Sorry, guys. I know I keep pausing. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to
But
finish
anyways,
this up.
it's
Sorry.
crazy. What did
All my
someone
lighters keep
say?
dying.
They're practically cutting your thigh circulation. No, they're not. Look, when I stand up, see? They're actually falling down, but no, they're not cutting my circulation. What are you even talking about? I could literally pull them, see? But no, they're not cutting my circulation. What are you even talking about? I could literally pull them, see?
Wow, she can literally pull them. That's literally what it looks like the last time I tried to put on my tight jeans after I gained some weight. It's like, yeah, I could put them on and they're like literally glued to my legs. It's like, skinny jeans I wore when I was like, in the 150s instead of when I finally fully filled out my, like mid 30s and had like 160 to 163 to 173. I'll put myself in that range. I don't know what category that is in boxing. Let's say, weight classes. I know this is so unrelated. I'm just curious. That's where I would land now. Because I used to be a solid, like almost my entire life, 155. So, but now I'm about, between my good weight is probably when I'm 163, 165. That's probably like ideal. So let's see where I'd be. Holy shit, I'm way past lightweight. Dude, I'd be a fucking middleweight to super middleweight or a light heavyweight at 170. What the fuck? I get this shit. What? That's crazy if these are the weight classes. Light flyweight? What male boxer weighs 108 pounds? Emmanuel Lewis? Like what the Pat or like Pat like what the fuck or like what whatever the fucking guy's name was, the guy that looked like a child. I can't whatever. Gary Coleman. Like what the fuck, bro? Like okay, sorry. Back to Sophia, guys. I'm sorry I got off topic there. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm gonna try really hard to stay on this shitty topic. Sorry, this enticing,
But
profitable topic.
hello? Hey, you smell yourself. Well, I don't know why people keep saying funky. If you smell something rancid, it's because you're smelling yourself. You can't smell through the screen. I can't smell you.
Sophia, they know that they cannot smell you through the screen, you
So if you smell
fucking
something, it must be
moron.
yourself. I don't
Dude,
know why
they're
people are talking about this smell. If they don't smell, then go hop in the shower. You ain't smelling me through the screen. You smelling
you
yourself.
cannot be this
That's
stupid.
like a
You cannot be that stupid that that's your reply to that insult. You think that they literally mean that they can smell you through the television and the monitor, and that's why they're saying you smell? No. Look at yourself. Look at this in the mirror, you guys. If you woke up and you looked like this when you looked in the mirror, do you think maybe you'd wash your fucking face and your hair and like maybe take a shower? I mean, Tofia, look at this photo. I just randomly paused on a frame. Of course, it was super unflattering, but then again, most of hers are. Like, no. They're saying you smell and you have bad hygiene. Look at your hair. What? I don't. And again, I said this before. I understand like why my wife sometimes wears like a shower cap and stuff, so she doesn't have to do her hair a second time if it's the same. Like if we go swimming or like do something like that. But why are you not washing your hair, Sophia? The few times a month you get to shower. I'm so baffled by that.
don't want
Why her hair
to work on
looks
me.
so
Try
fucking bad
again.
all the time.
I'm not gonna say
It's
that.
like it's like
And you
she
came
goes
on here
out
in
of
the
her
fake
way to
account.
make it look as bad as
Nah.
possible. I'm
Guys,
grossing out 3
those
to 1.
middle school. Look down your
30 minutes
shirt
into
and
this
spell
video.
attic.
I need to speed this up, guys.
ATTIC. Spell IHOPNess.
Like,
IHO.
I need to
Hello.
not
I
pause
know
and
that. You
speed,
can't fool the fooler.
speed
That
this up.
stuff's been around
You can't fool
forever.
the
So you
fool.
know how they
Yeah,
try
that's
to
the
get you by
saying.
saying a name and they put it together? Think of Mo
That's how the saying
from The
goes.
Simpsons and then you'll
Like,
get it.
you can't fool
Hi,
the
I'm
fool.
calling for first name Hugh, last name Anus. Is there a Hugh Janus here? Hugh Janus. Think of that. That's what I'm talking about. Someone tried to pull that and offer that. I'm very, when it comes to money, I'm very good at saving money to an extent. Now,
Okay, I left a timestamp for this. I'm 1,000,000% sure. Tophia is really good at saving money, but to an extent. Again, remember when she was in high school, she almost once saved $400.
because I
Let's hear
need
how good
things, I
she is
gotta
at
buy
saving money.
things and just that. Because I
She
rarely
needs
have new
things, so
clothes. I
she's
don't
got
even
to
have
buy
any
things,
summer
and she
clothes.
rarely
I
has
have
clothes.
new
She doesn't even have
shorts and
summer
that's it.
clothes,
I
you
need
guys.
some more
She's only got
shorts.
three
Look,
shorts.
my brother is gone and I'm trying to not be
What?
gone. I still have grief, right?
Wait, you were
My
just talking about
brother,
summer
when
shorts and
his
how you're
friends
good
were
with
sad,
money.
upset, or down, he always did something to make them laugh or make them feel happy.
What does that have to do
Someone
with
told me
your
that, and I
money
do
spending
realize that
habits?
my
What are
brother
we
would not want me
talk,
sad about
guys?
him
This
all
is
the
what I mean.
time.
Like, what are we talking
My
about?
brother wanted everyone happy. He wouldn't want me moping around. He wouldn't want me crying all the time, being upset. There's
Your
only so
brother
much
sounded
that you can
so
grieve. I'm
apathetic
never
and
gonna get
done
over
with you the
grieving
last
because
time I
I
heard him
watched
in the
my brother die
stream.
in front of
I
me.
don't
I
know if
literally
he
woke up to
would
the
have felt that
gunshots
way or
of
if he
him
would
being
feel that way.
unalived. You
He
don't even
sounded
know what
so
that's like,
disinterested
and
in
you
you and
think
so
because
pissed off
I'm excited about
that
games
you
that
were
I'm moving
crying and
on.
talking about how
My brother loved playing games.
you
I loved playing
contributed
games with him too. We
everything and
would
you
play Call
contributed
of Duty
nothing. You could tell from
Zombies.
his
Like my
voice that he was
brother, he would get
pissed.
me game
That
systems.
he's
He
and
knew I
when
loved
she
to
was
play
like, "Don't
games.
ask me
We
for
were
money
never
no
without
more,"
an
he's like, "Don't
Xbox. We were
worry,
never
Sophia,
without a
I
game
will
system.
not ask you
He
for
he
another
wanted a game
dollar."
system. Bam,
Like you could
Xbox.
hear this is
The last
tough.
time we
And
had an
again, I don't
Xbox,
know
I
how
bought
good of
that
a person
Xbox. These are
brother Chu
things
is
that
or
I'm
not. I don't know
struggling
enough
with.
about him to
I'm
judge him.
grieving my brother,
I
but I
just
can't
know
be
how
sad all the
Sophia
time.
acted and
I
treated him.
have to
She treated him
eventually
like shit.
pick myself up and
So
be able to do normal things again because it's hard for me to
while
do
she
normal
might
things
be
when
finally be able to
I'm
pick
grieving
herself
my
up
brother,
and
but I
just
can't be sad all
bootstrap,
the time. I have
so
to
I use
eventually
medication
pick
to help with
myself
it
up and be able to do
when
normal
you
things
can
again
never do it
because it's hard
yourself,
for me
you
to
know?
do normal things when I'm out
Do you guys
there.
think she'll
That
ever pick
experience
herself
with
up by
that
running
car race
bootstraps?
just affected
Like,
me because
what are
it's
the
like,
odds
oh,
of that?
those are some of the things that we used to do driving
We're
around with
going
my
for like
brother
lottery
Saturdays
odds,
and
like one in
Sundays,
which you're gonna
going
be
from
a
one
millionaire.
point
Are we
to
going
another.
like
But right now, I'm trying to
death
do
or
my
being
housing.
universe
I haven't
odds?
moved on. I'm still grieving. When I talk about gaming and
Are we
stuff,
going
I
on
want to
like
game again. I
particles
want
in
to
the
travel.
universe
I want to
odds?
experience life. I've never
Like
been in a
10 to the
relationship or whatever. That really is affecting me.
1,000 or something?
People
I
tell
don't
me you're
even know
not
what the fuck it
where
is.
you need
It's
to be and
some
you're 32.
crazy number. Like,
That
look
really
it up.
bothers me. It shouldn't be like running out of time. That's what my brain is telling me. I don't got a lot of time with my mom. I want to enjoy.
Why shouldn't I don't understand why shouldn't that be what your brain is telling you? You're in your 30s. You're almost halfway done with your life. I'm 35. We looked it up the other day. Average lifespan in the US, 79, and about 76 and a half or 77 for men, and it's 81 for women. So I'm 3 years away from halfway through my life. I don't understand her. Like, what are you
Enjoy the
talking
time
about?
that I have with my mom. I want to be out there with my
I
friends.
mean, the reason she has no time is because she's in terrible shape and she's probably going to die early of some comorbidity from her morbid obesity and all the other shit that, and like being homeless, she might catch a cold or pneumonia and not be able to treat it or not fully treat it or anything for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
Hanging out. Say, hey, let's
the
go pull
direction
up
she's
to this
heading. I
meet.
swear to God, it's
Start
bridge.
showing
I
up to
had to
car
pick her
meets. Be
four
like,
day.
hey, let's
She
get
was
it.
in a
I
bridge
don't
or a
have to
tent. I'm
have
sorry.
no curfew
She
or
was in a
nothing. Just be
tent
out
for a
there
couple days
whipping it.
already, so I was
Hello. That's what I want to do.
way
I
too
want to enjoy
conservative
life,
on that
and I can't be
if she's not
stuck
in it anymore.
being upset over my brother because my brother won't want me to be
So
upset.
then don't.
Imagine I'm
If you
pulling to
think
a
your
car meet in
brother
a
wouldn't want
scooter.
you to do it and you're
Man,
going to a
I need a
therapist
fly
that
whip.
comes
I
helping
need
you
something
with this
fly, like a
exact
convertible
topic,
BMW.
why
That's
are
what
you
I need,
still
or a
like, what is
Dodge
going on? You
Challenger
just said
SRT
exactly
V8
what you need
engine, a
to know,
Hellcat, or a
or you
Jeep. I
need
can't
to
really live with
do.
a
You
Jeep.
were
I'm not
told
trying to
exactly what you need to
speed
do by your
or
streak
race
or
or anything
whatever.
like
Like,
that.
what are
I
you
can't do
talking about?
speed. Like my brother, he wasn't really speeding, so I was okay with that. When we would go fast, it wasn't like as if I feel that we're going fast and we're speeding. That's what really,
This is
like,
called
it
Tofia
didn't even
makes
feel like we were
excuses
driving
for her
fast.
brother
I just
driving
want
over
to
the
be
speed
able
limit.
to enjoy life and other people to enjoy life, and that's that. I want the
How is
best
that,
for other
Sophia?
people.
How is living out of a car, going driving every couple nights, where all you do is spend money on gasoline, moving your car around, doing literally nothing that you couldn't do parked in somewhere? How, like, what are you talking about? That's the best for your brother and your mom is just living out of a car, driving around Friday and Saturday nights with you? Yeah, Brother Chu, I'm sure wanted you as company all the time. That's why he was the one out of all of you that had separate friends, right? That he hung out with that had nothing to do with you guys. You somehow ingratiated yourself into their lives too, but
Well, not just for
I mean,
myself,
like, Jesus
the people in
Christ.
my real life, some of you guys, right? You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have happiness. What's stopping you from doing the things that you want to do? Push for the things that you want to do. You sit here and you talk about how you want people to be better, but you come in here with negativity all the time. Just think positive.
I never come here in negativity. I specifically just refute things you say. I tell you guys all the time, I'm in recovery. I've been clean for several years. I finished probation in 2020, so I've done it for almost 6 years now. It'll be actually over 6 years now, just past 6 years. What else? I work at school. I've been there 4 years. It's a very low ranking position, clerical, office support type stuff, but I don't care because I like going to it. I don't want to blow my brains out every day. I like working for schools. I like working for the public. My original dream is to be a teacher. Now that I've worked at school, I don't want to do that anymore because I realize how much of teaching at a middle and high school level is actually babysitting. It's like 50-50. It's not mostly teaching. I did like it when I taught continuing ed and stuff at a college, but I can't, if you want to teach at a school or something in my state, you need a teaching certification. So my options were to either get a bachelor's in mathematics, a BA in mathematics, and then have to then do a master's on top of that to really get some jobs that would pay good, or do my computer information systems class, which I was the exact same amount of classes away from both, which is hilarious. But that one's gonna help me get a higher paying job a lot more quickly than just a math BA. If I went and did a master's in math, that would be good. But I'm already 35, and it's still gonna take me another year, maybe another year and a half to finish this at the rate I'm doing it. It's 6+ credits a semester. So, because there's a minimum in-house credit requirement regardless of even if I get to the amount I need, so I would still need to take some extras. So anyway, yeah, I am doing all those things. I am being positive. I am extremely negative towards your actions and reactions to what you say because you're wrong and you're stupid. Sorry guys, I've
I'm
already
trying to
paused so
change my
much.
thinking. I really, I haven't eaten anything either. I'm starving and I'm wondering
If
why.
this is done
And
in
I realized I
under an
need to get
hour, I'll actually be
great.
really
I
happy.
can't
That'll be
sit
like
here
a
and be sad all the
six to
time about
four.
my brother.
Yeah, that'd be a
The
six to
grief is
four.
still going
So
to be there. That doesn't mean I don't care about him or I forgot
two
about him.
would be a 3-2.
That's the
3-2 would be
least of it.
really
I
good.
just want to. I miss
Not as
gaming.
good
To
as
be
four to
honest, I
three
miss
like
gaming.
hopeful, but
That's
three to
why I
two
got
would
a
be really good for me.
Switch. I like to play games, actual games, not
If you
like
got a Switch, you
games.
guys.
I like to play games. I'm a
She had to
gamer. My
clarify
first
that.
game system
She
was
had
the
to
64.
clarify that because she's such a soap opera queen that she assumed that people might have thought she meant playing head games with
And
people.
64.
Yeah, who you playing head games with, Sophia? The lady that stabbed someone to death?
Nintendo
Like,
64.
what are you talking
My
about? Imagine she played head games with that lady and she ended up getting stabbed. Imagine Sophia ended up getting stabbed, you guys. She would never stop milking it. She'd get that GoFundMe money. Oh my God, she'd have the best time of her life if such she had stabbed her. It would be unbelievable.
second game system was a PlayStation
She'd be
Portable. Well, no,
happy to get
actually,
stabbed.
before the PlayStation Portable, it was a PS2. That was my second game system. My third game system was a handheld game, which was PSP, and my brother got the Game Boy Advance.
By the way, she also talks, because I watched this already, she just had her second game system on PlayStation 2, and her first one was an N64. My first one was an N64 also. Well, unless you count Game Boy. So I had a Game Boy. Then, so, then what she's gonna say is, then I decided I should get a PS1. Sophia, one of the biggest points of the PlayStation 2 is that I'm pretty sure backwards compatible with every game. So you just bought a PlayStation 1 for no reason. Literally no
What you
reason, just
know
to have
about
more
that?
classic junk with it.
What
Like
you know
that makes
that
no
maybe I know
sense.
all
Because
about
I'm
that.
positive she says that.
And then I got a PlayStation 1.
There you
I
go.
found a PlayStation 1 at Google and I bought it because I never had a PlayStation 1.
I never had a
I
PlayStation 1. I really wanted it, even though you could play every single. I'm pretty PlayStation people. I'm not a PlayStation person. I either had a Nintendo system or a PC game, mostly PC game. Well, lately it's been more Nintendo because my PC is not here with me. But yeah, like what the fuck are you talking about? You already have a PlayStation 2. Why are you wasting money on a one?
went from a
It
Nintendo
makes no
64
sense. It
skip
just makes no
PlayStation 1
sense.
because PlayStation 1 probably came out I think in the 1990s,
It did,
and
just like
then it evolved.
Nintendo
Nintendo was out.
64, which
Before
came out in
Nintendo, there was the Atari.
1995.
My brother has an Atari. It was the Atari.
Before
He
1993
has
to
this. I don't know if
1995
he
is
still has it.
1964.
I
I
heard he
got
can
it when
sell
I
it.
was
Rob
five
the
years old. I
Robot. Look
remember
up
it
Rob the Robot.
specifically.
It's very expensive in the gaming world.
She thinks that Rob the Robot is worth a lot.
Mint
Okay,
condition Rob the
dude.
Robot.
I had a friend growing up with Rob the Robot just beat the shit. There's only two games that you can even play. She knows she's so stupid. Yeah, I know so much about gaming. I want to get into gaming. There's the Rob the Robot works with what, two, maybe three video games, and all the one of them is Stack Cup or whatever, and the other one's the one where the guy moves up and down on the pill. Like it's a piece of shit. Like what are you talking? Like, what are you talking about? Mint Rob the Robot, thousands of dollars? Yeah, maybe mint in a box, still sealed with the original, not heat wrap shrink like I used to do for DVDs my store would sell. I'm talking fucking factory sealed shit. Would maybe be in that range if you're lucky.
You're looking
And
at
again,
both.
Sophia loves to just, oh my God, like so many people go to say, oh, well, it's this much on eBay. Let's take a look at how much Rob the Robot is listed for on eBay. But that's not the important part, what they're listed for. Let's take a look. I might only be getting results from the country I'm in, which would be bad because it would be not the right amounts. But let's look at how much Rob the Robot costs you guys. So an entire set with him right here, deluxe set. Mint, even though it says open box, I don't know how you say open box mint, but whatever. Here's a Rob the Robot, $185. Here's a 3D printed one that you can apparently make now. Here's a Nintendo Rob the Robot, 315, 269. This is what people are asking. Now let's see what the most recent ones have sold for. And again, mint ones are going to sell for more than, if it's actually mint or in the box or whatever. Okay, literally, all I'm getting right now is Rob the Robot parts for people to fix them. Gyromite, that's the other game. There you go, Gyromite. The spinning thing. Rob the Robot's one. It's sold, but it's missing some authentic problems for 165. Let's keep going. This is definitely like a scam right here. This guy like bought his own shit. There's no way that you'd pay $1,250 for Gyromite and Rob the Robot. There's no way. Just you wouldn't do it. Doesn't make any sense. Like here's a Rob the Robot that works and moves for $200. Here's one for 216 with the accessories and the Japanese accessories. Here's one in the box or has something in the description, like 500, 300. Yeah, thousands of dollars, Sophia. Sorry that we paused again for so long, you guys.
Thousands of
I
dollars
know
and
I
you
always
would pay
pause
for
more
that.
often than I do.
It's
Like
a
we're 2 minutes
robot
in, I don't
that
want to be
literally,
under
it's
an
cool.
hour.
It works for the
We're
Nintendo,
like
I believe, but he
15
bought it
minutes
with the
away.
box. And he bought this Atari with the box, but box got used for other things and it got torn. But he had an Atari. Then you had three Xbox 360s, PlayStation 4,
Why did you have
PlayStation 3,
three
PSP,
Xbox
PlayStation Portable,
360s?
Game Boy Advance SP. I had a Game
Dude,
Boy Advance.
you're poor. Your family is poor as shit, and you had every console growing up. I got like one. What
SP.
is fucking go?
I always Game
Okay,
Boy
Sophia,
users. I
you
love Game
suffered
Boys.
so
Need for
much. What
Speed
a
Most
terrible
Wanted.
childhood you had.
That's the game that I had.
Every
And I was so
single
mad. I
game
had
system
bought
that
Need for Speed Most Wanted,
existed,
but the
she just
PlayStation 2
made.
stolen. The guy that
What the
helped
fuck?
my family move stole the game. No, he did, because when we moved to the house, it was gone. And I
Of
said,
course,
where's
more
my game? I wanted
paranoid.
to
The
play.
guy who helped you
And
move
we
fully
realized he
stole
stole
it. You
it,
could have
because where else
forgotten
did the game
it
go?
or left
I'm a
it
gamer. I've been
or
gaming since I was little.
or
When we
done
were little,
any
my
other
dad got
shit.
us a
Clearly,
PlayStation
that one
2 around the
specific
age
guy
of
stole
10.
it.
I was playing Tony Hawk. We had a game system. Then from there, because my parents got back pay, so they bought us anything we wanted.
Excuse my
PlayStation
language,
was
you
out, we
guys,
got a
but Sophia,
PlayStation
I
2.
will beat
So
your
then he
bitch
bought
ass
another
at Tony
PlayStation
Hawk
2,
any day
second
of the week.
PlayStation 2.
Let's
The
go.
first
That was
system
one of
I
the
had
games I
was a
was best
64. I
at as a kid.
saved
I'm
all my money for
talking
that.
million
I
point
had, well, I didn't
two
save it for
minute
that, but I
runs,
had
okay?
an allowance, and
Plus,
I saved
sometimes
$60.
multi-million, depending
And
on the level.
there was a
Like,
flyer where
holy
we lived,
shit,
and
especially
this
Tony
kid
Hawk
put up
4 and
that he
afterwards,
was
4
selling
and
his
Underground.
64 with
I'm gonna
60
fucking
games,
stomp the
60
shit out of
bucks.
you, even though I haven't
I
played in a
bought the
while.
64 60
I
games,
have the
60
new
bucks.
one,
That's
the
crazy.
remastered one if
60
you want to
games.
switch.
Madden,
Because it's actually just the same
Batman,
game. It's
that
probably
Looney
not
Tunes
the nice
game, the one
graphics,
that
but
is
still,
like, what's it
it's
called?
just Tony Hawk.
Rabbit Rampage, that one. I had all of these
It's just
games.
called
Madden
Rampage.
is where it's at. Madden
The one
is
she's
Mortal
talking about,
Kombat. I have Mortal
where he
Kombat.
punched the sign of the
Me and my
building,
cousin
it's
used to
called
play, even though I
Rampage.
wasn't good. My cousin used to whoop me on Mortal Kombat. I used to beat my brother at Madden and
Sure,
NBA, which I'm getting
sure.
NBA. If this works out, I'm getting NBA.
Just FYI, like the newest NBA 2K games and Madden games are some of the worst video games you could possibly buy.
It's NBA 12, but my brother got the new NBAs, but I don't know. He might have sold some stuff in
NBA
stores, so I don't think it's
2K12, I
new.
forget it was
NBA
2K12,
2K19, I think it was. He
13
got
or
it when it
14,
came
but the
out.
Michael
2K, I
Jordan one
love
was like one
2K.
of the
NBA. But the
It's one of the
ones
best
that I
versions
want to
of
play, oh,
that.
WWE SmackDown
I
versus Raw.
loved
I
that
love
version
the
of
older games,
NBA
SmackDown
2K.
versus
Back
Raw,
when
the
it was
one where you
still
could do a
good,
pillow
the
fight.
controls were still good,
That one
like
or the
they
buried
worked. They're
alive
really
match. That's
intuitive,
the
they
ones
work
that I
really
used to like
well.
to play. Is the one with the buried alive
And
match.
the Michael Jordan
But what was
challenges,
it?
and you
Oh,
can
the
also
NBA game that I
like
like to play is the
classic
one where you can
teams
do the
like
slam dunk
the Raptors,
contest. That's my
Celtics, and
favorite.
like
I love to
even
do
going
slam
further
dunk
back, like play
contest or the
Logan
force
and his team,
where you play horse,
Charles
especially with
Barkley,
Tony
and like
Hawk playing
everyone that plays
horse.
that game in
That's
my
the
own
things that I
games, like
like to do
you know
with
the
my
Capitals
brother
and
is
stuff
play
like
the
that was a fun
games. Like,
awesome
bruh. I remember
But the new ones
every
are
day from
terrible. They're
elementary
live
school because
service
it was like
games where you
grandma,
have
I
to
would come
buy
home.
like card
My
packs to
grandma
get the
had an
players you
upstairs
want.
built,
It's fucking
and
bullshit.
it had
If
go
you
out,
want
and
to
it was
play a
like it
basketball
was
game, you should
cool
find the
upstairs,
last one
and I
with
would
the
go
full-time
upstairs.
microtransaction.
Now I'm
Buy
afraid to
that
climb up there,
used, and then
but I
they
used to
offer
go up
player
there,
updates every
and
year. Do it,
it's
otherwise don't.
weird.
Just
It's
keep
not
playing
like
with the same
actual
old players.
stairs.
Like I
It's
don't know
kind
what
of
to
like a
tell you. The
ladder
games are
looking
bullshit.
stairs, and it's like white, and then you go up there. You slide the board over, and then you get up there. It looks like an attic, but it's not. It's my grandpa built that, added that on and built it.
What the
And
fuck is she
so
talking about?
every day after school, if
She's
I had
talking
like a
about
report and I didn't get in trouble, I could go upstairs and play my game. And I would always go upstairs and play my game. I would be like run upstairs, be on my 60.
That's what I used to do. I used to just go home and just play video games. But like I also, when I was that age, would go to friends' houses and play video games. Like my best friends from like, Concord Road on. Or not, sorry, from kindergarten on, excuse me. That was
For
fucking weird.
gaming. That was
Switch
me.
to the
But I
tone.
don't have it because
Concord
my cousin
Kinder.
he stole it and sold
Oh,
it
where
for
the fuck's
weed.
that
I've been gaming
from?
for a long time. I remember one time it was
Sold it
crazy. The
for weed. That's
PS3
great.
came
I've
out
never had
and
to
I
sell a
came
game
home
system.
from
That's
school,
not true. I
right?
sold a game system for
It was
money.
a fair day or something at
I
school
sold
for the
all my old
seniors,
N64 games
and it
like
was
during
like
COVID
we
for
didn't
fucking
have no
heroin
school, so
money.
school
I'm
was
dead
over for
serious.
us because we're
I had
seniors, we're
fucking
graduating,
major.
and
I
they
had a
had
lot
this.
of good games,
It
a
was
lot of
kind of
good
like a
system
fair.
ones. I
It
had
didn't
fucking
have any
parts for
rides
them.
or
I knew
anything.
batteries for
Fair
all
game,
of
but
them
it had
too. I
carnival
could
games. It
get
was a
multi
carnival,
battery. Or I
and
didn't
I went to the
assemble it because
carnival, and
I let the
then I went
customers do
home.
that.
I
I'm
come
like, look,
home,
if you want the
and
game
there's
and
a
battery, I'll sell
PlayStation
it to
3,
you.
and I'm
But
like,
then
and
if
my
you
brother
want
was
to be
like,
the
we
one
went
that
to the
sells
pawn
it
shop
instead
and
of
we
me
picked
and
up
you
a
want to take the
PS3.
risk, like,
I
I,
was
I
like,
charge them
oh, and
more
then we
money
had
because
Spider Man
everyone's taking
3, I
risks
think
with
it
it.
was. I
Because I'd
used to love
rather
to go
them
all the way
take
to
the
the
risk
top
and
of
fuck
the
it up
Empire
than
State
me.
Building and
Because if I
jump
fuck
and
it
then
up,
just
then
like
it's
wing.
totally worthless. And
That
then
was
I
a fun
sell it
game
for
to
a
play
little
with
bit less
Spider
with
Man.
the battery.
And then
Which
Ape
again,
Escape, I had
encouragement to
Ape
want to
Escape
then
on my
buy it, and I
PlayStation
would take the
Portable,
battery, I buy
Hot
a
Shot
bunch of
Skull,
bulk, and then I
Mojo for the
like add it to
PlayStation
the
2.
game, and
My mom loved that
it
game,
costs
Mojo.
maybe I don't
Have you
know
guys ever heard of
between 10 and
Mojo?
50 cents
It's
for
like
a
one
quick
of the
dollar
games that
to
they have now
shoot
where it's a
a
ball
no
that
an extra
rolls
couple bucks.
and you gotta go through obstacles and
But
not
it's
have
like,
it
dude,
fall
here's the
off.
whole here's
Well,
everything
this
you need.
one
Here's
is
except
a
for
thing
the
that
tool
rotates all
bit,
the way
I couldn't
around,
include
and it's a colored ball,
that
and you have to
actually
match it to the colored
confused me.
squares and try not
The
to fall off or
Nintendo
mess up. That was
the
a fun game.
Nintendo
I'm a gamer.
Special Package are
I'm
trying. It's really good.
games were my life.
Three, I
That's all I
forget if
did
it's
was
three
game.
or five. It's like a
Call of
storm.
Duty. And man,
They,
probably
it
now
has
they
a
still talk
specific
crap on
name. It's
Call
like
of
a
Duty, but
game
back then
block
they
or
talk
like
some mad crap.
Nintendo
I
lock
used to be
something. I
real good at
forget.
Call of Duty. I was real good.
Yeah, I'm
That
sure
was
you
a
were really
good
good
thing.
at Call of Duty.
I'm
Sophia,
trying
what
to get
rank
back
were
into
you?
gaming. Gaming is my thing. My dad wasn't
Sounds like
strict.
gaming
I
your thing.
couldn't go out and do things, but I could game. Even though my dad, he didn't like games. He said gaming is not going to make you money. To be
Do you
honest, he
like
didn't
Dark
like that
Side
we bought
Phil, where
game
she's just
systems. He
like
didn't like that at
trying
all.
everything
He
else,
would be
just
like, all
seeing
you
what's
do is
gonna
play on
like
those
she
games all
throws
day.
at the
Gaming
wall
ain't
that
going to
sticks.
make you
Like, oh,
money.
but maybe if I
A
change
lot
my
of my
channel to
brother's
gaming
friends,
channel, people watch
parents
it.
would tell
Maybe
them
if I
go
change my
outside.
channel to
You're
doing
not
blah
gaming
blah
all
blah,
day,
people will
right?
watch
They
it
didn't
because
want
that's what
them on
she's
their
doing
game
right now.
systems, and we couldn't go outside either.
God,
Sometimes my
that
dad would say,
fucking
no, you can't
camera
go out.
angle, you
I wanted
guys.
to go out to the park.
Talk
No, you
about
can't go. It was just like that.
camel
Or if I wanted to go for
toe.
a walk, I could, but
That's
at the same
fucking
time, my
moose
dad never
knuckle,
liked,
you
he said
guys.
gaming
Like,
wouldn't make you money,
holy
but look at now.
shit.
People are streaming and making money playing
That's
games. It's
so
crazy. He would get
unattractive.
mad at us because
And
sometimes
she'd
my
be like,
brother would
no,
be
you
up
can't see
late,
it like that,
12
Sophia.
o'clock in the
With the
morning,
way the
playing
line of
Call of
those
Duty. And
games
then,
looks, it looks
my brother
exactly
got
like
into
that
IMVU because
because
of
of
me.
your weight
And
and
that
how
became a
hard
thing.
you're
laughing, and my
pushing
dad
against
did
that
not
shit.
like that at all.
That's
My brother would be,
crazy.
they're laughing out loud because you can talk to people on IMVU. So he made some friends on there.
Wow,
Then my
Sophia
dad
told
doesn't
us.
like rowdy loud, and some of my brother's friends would be loud. They would be
Sophia,
mean,
you
and he would
actually
be like,
taught
"Nah,
us
you gotta
how
go home."
you can
If they
make
became
friends
too loud and rowdy, that was not allowed in my
Xbox
house. We
Live.
would tell them to leave. Your friends gotta go. They too loud, and I'm trying to work. Or it wasn't even that. Kids just being kids. You can't be a kid, but for him, anytime I knew, I was like, oh, he's gonna tell them to leave. My brother was laughing. I wanted to tell him
When
because
you
I knew
were
my dad was gonna
ranting,
get
you
mad. Sure
rat
enough, my
on him.
dad
I
said,
would believe
"Be
that.
quiet. Turn that off." That's just how he
I
was. And
believe that
gaming
she'd
to
be a
him,
fucking rat.
if it wasn't about making money, he didn't
Rat,
really
rat,
like it. All
rat.
you do is watch TV all day, right? Well, I'm a kid. I'm a teenager. What am I supposed to do?
That's all you. Yeah, but you do it now also. See, like you just said, I'm a kid, I'm a teenager. What am I supposed to do? Nothing else really. If you don't have a lot of friends and stuff like that, really nothing realistically. maybe go out, maybe get a hobby, maybe join a club. Maybe that's actually really would be better for you, and your dad should have pushed for that more. Either way, though, that's we're talking about middle school, Sophia. You're 33. This would have been at latest, or I'm sorry, like at best 20 years ago. Because I mean, unless you're like a school where, like, unless you're most schools, at least where I am, it's elementary is K through 4, and then 5 through 8 is middle school, and then 9 through 12 is high school. Or some are like K through, I don't know, K through 2, and then there'll be like a 3, 4, like an early development. One of them's called early development, one's called, a different, like, elementary school. And then you have like my school, which, and then you have the middle school or whatever, and then you have my school, which is grades 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So my school is half of the middle school and a full high school, at least how it works here in the U.S. So yeah, that's what you're supposed to do as a kid, as a teenager.
He bought
You're
me his
doing
best.
it
He
right
bought me this
now
book,
as a
Rich Dad Poor
homeless
Dad,
adult in a fucking shelter.
and told me I had to read this book. He gave me a
Did you
book that
read
he
it?
bought because he used to buy a lot of used books at not Google, Goodwill to read. And one of
Did
the
you
books he
read
got
it?
was by Lee Iacocca. Lee Iacocca was the man that
Yeah, Lee
started whatever
Iacocca
it
is
was
the
with
man
Ford
that
Motor
started
Company or something like
whatever,
that.
a
I don't know.
sports
He's
motor
a
company or
guy that's
something.
really rich, whatever, Lee Iacocca.
Yeah,
This
she
book,
really knows her stuff about business, you guys. Lee Iacocca is this guy who made his money with sports racing or something. Lee Iacocca, what was he, president or CEO of Ford Motors after Henry Ford II? Or at least one of the head CEOs there. Like he was maybe the number two. Like what? Yeah, who the fuck's Lee Iacocca, you
look
guys?
him up. Anyways, if it
I
wasn't
don't need
about
to look him
making
up.
money,
I
we
actually
couldn't
knew
really
who he was. You're the one that just bragged. You fucking read this
do
book
things,
about him,
right?
or
My
your
dad
dad
was
made
like,
you
"Who's the
read this
richest
book
person
about
in the
him, and
world?
then
Name the
you
3 richest
don't even
people in the
know.
world." At that
Carlos
time, it
Slim
was
at the
Carlos Slim
time.
Hulu. He's rich in
Yeah,
Mexico.
I knew
He's
that.
rich for
He had it
telephone.
from
He was rich for starting a
telecommunications and
telephone company.
telephone
He had a
company.
lot of money, and he lived in
He owns
Mexico.
satellites
Bill
and stuff like
Gates,
that.
Warren
That's what
Buffett.
made him
At the
really rich.
time, my dad had connections and basically was in contact with Warren Buffett's daughter. And so at the time,
You say a lot of ridiculous things. That might be one of the more ridiculous things you've ever said. That is so out of. There's no reality in there's no there in no multiverse or in any universe in the known multiverse is your dad friends with Warren Buffett's daughter. It's like in South Park, every single time, no matter what, I fuck that pangolin. Every single time in every single universe, your dad was not in contact with Warren Buffett's daughter. Also, even if he was, how does that help him? Unless she's giving him advice that her dad's giving her, which I don't think that he did. He's also extremely old. So, like, his daughters would be older than your dad,
it was like Bill
probably.
Gates was
Like, what?
Microsoft, Xbox. Then you have Steve
I'm
Jobs,
sorry, guys. I wanted to
iPhone,
finish this in an
crazy,
hour.
right?
We're already at fuck.
It
Like,
was Warren, which has Berkshire Hathaway.
fuck, we got like
Berkshire
20 minutes.
Hathaway is an investment company. He made money doing investments, millions of dollars
Wow, that's
invested.
that's
And my
like the
brother
most
was good at
reductivist
computers,
view
and
of
my
how
brother was
Warren
good at
Buffett made
cars,
money
and he
ever.
wanted to be a mechanic.
Vocal could go
And my
more into
dad said,
detail
"Well,
about that. I'm
I
not as
really
familiar
approve
with
you do
Warren
this thing.
Buffett's
You like
specific
computers,
story. I
working on
think
computers.
Vocal might be a
You
little
go
bit more
open up a shop
financially
and help
educated
fix
on like
people's
at least
computers."
the
Because my brother
history of
was a
financially
wizard at
of
computers. He was a
financial stuff
tech
and stuff
wizard
like that.
when it came to
But
computers, right?
that's
Cars. He was a
even I
mechanic.
know
He
that's
wanted
like the
to
most
work on cars.
reductionist view you could take
He
of
didn't
Warren
do he
Buffett and
wanted
how he
the one
earned
job he was
money.
trying to get, I remember recently before he passed
Like,
away, and he could have possibly
unbelievable.
been working on hot
What, like,
rods.
yeah, that's
But my
all he
dad,
did.
because he
That's
wanted
all
someone
Warren
to do
Buffett's ever
investments,
done.
he's like, "Well, you're gonna
It's
invest
not
into
like he's
me,
taking
and he's gonna
companies on
do
the
the cars and the
brink of
computer." I
insolvency
wanted
and
to have a
saved
restaurant.
tons, like
He told me,
multiple,
"Oh,
then multiple times
there's
during
too
his
much,
life,
too
giving him
saturated.
lifeline,
Uh,
basically
you don't
feeding
want
him,
to do that.
right?
Like,
Warren Buffett's
all I
also
did was be a
smart. He
cook.
doesn't
I
take a
took cooking
deodorant
classes
as
with
a
my mom when
coping
I was in
strategy.
elementary school. We would walk to the elementary school and do a cooking class every Saturday. I wanted to
I
become a
mean,
cook. I
he
wanted to
like
chef it up
he had an
and have
investment
my own
manager.
restaurant,
I don't
right?
think
But
he's
I
good
felt
at making
like,
effort.
and I
I
did go
did
to
tough
business
during
for myself
2008 or
partially
was
when I went
taking
to
a
college.
position
I went to UNM.
a
I was
specific
trying to get a degree in
I don't
business,
remember which.
but I did partially kind of do it dad because he wanted me to go for business, but I
Okay,
was already
once
going.
again, does someone know if she has a college degree? Because she always talks about going to college, but she talked one time. I remember this so specifically. It's in one of my past videos. Go find it. I don't remember which one. I should write down which one so everyone can go look at it, or I should like clip it or replay it every time. But she says that she took classes at the college, and when she failed them, she got kicked out of high school, which again tells me that she was not going to college for college classes, but that she was going there for high school credit because she was getting bullied or whatever. She couldn't hack it at regular high school, which she had already admitted earlier that she had to go to like a special school and like stay home half the time because she got bullied in middle school so bad. Sophia, maybe one reason like you have no friends and you're so poorly socially adjusted is instead of dealing with it and like figuring out how to like find friends and like figuring out that you can't force people to like you and doing all this shit when you're a child. And if you had learned all that at like 13 to 15, like I said, kids around that age are little bastards learning how to do this shit for the first time. If you'd actually learned all that, maybe we wouldn't be in the position we're in now.
I wasn't good enough because I wanted to do a restaurant and he wanted me to do investments. He said, I'm going to teach you about investments so you know when I'm to invest money. And I didn't want to do that. So then, because I didn't want to do it, he would tell my brother, "Well, you're gonna do investments, and she's gonna open up her restaurant," and telling him he couldn't do what he wanted, And my brother really loved. He was into the war. He read books about war. He
Dude,
was
I
into
doubt your
flying
brother
airplanes.
would have
He
given
wanted
a
to become a pilot,
fuck
and
what
he's
your
always
dad
wanted
said.
to be
You
involved
just
somewhat with
said that there was
airplanes.
no
And
way that you were going to give your dad that money for that and that you were keeping it for yourself. Why wouldn't your brother say the same fucking thing? How else, who the fuck else would pay for you guys to live in that
he was
car?
really looking into everything it
What are you
took to become a
talking about?
pilot and fly for the airlines. He wanted to
Like, do you
fly
think
for
your
United
brother's just gonna
Airlines.
give your
I was
crazy
worried
ass dad
because I
all his
saw
money
all these
like
freak
you?
accidents, airplanes are falling out of the
And the
sky,
only thing preventing
airplanes
you from
going
doing it
missing,
is
and
your
then
own greed and
they can't
selfishness. Otherwise, it
airplanes
sounds
or the
like you'd be
people
like,
because the
"Hey, Dad,
airplanes
here,
disappear.
four
They're
hundred
gone.
dollars to
A
invest in
whole big
nonsense."
old
No
airplane
thanks. Penny
disappeared, and
stocks,
you
over the
can't like
counter,
yeah. And I know about that
crazy
stuff. That
options
just
that
doesn't
could
bother
either
me. I
make
still
you
want to
20
fly.
grand
He
or
wanted to
waste
be a police
four
officer,
hundred
but my
dollars
dad,
in
he was
half of a
strict.
second. Yeah,
Going
let's
to
go for that
him
stuff.
was nonsense because it wasn't
But what?
making
It's just
money.
like a
We
roulette
could
wheel.
game,
Okay,
but when
okay,
it
that's
came to
cool.
me for
What are the
gaming all
odds of
day,
roulette?
he had an issue. And I
Oh,
understand limiting
really?
time on
Well,
gaming,
did we bet
but
on
we're
at least
kids.
red or
I'm a teenager. What
oh,
am I
we
supposed to do?
bet
I
on
can't go
double
outside.
zero.
I don't have
We
friends
bet
to
on
hang out
just
with.
double
And the
zero.
friends that I do have to hang out with, I
Oh,
can't go with them anymore. And sometimes they wouldn't invite me to go anywhere.
well,
I was alienated
let him
in high
roll.
school. I
Like what?
became friends with people in the club.
That's my whole point. She was alienated because she didn't go there, didn't do any of that shit. She went home and hid from
I
people
became
instead.
friends with
Maybe
people
because she
from
got picked
student
on and
government.
stuff. But
And
she should
then
have
when I was
became
in
friends
student
with
government,
people
I
that
went from
didn't pick
student
on her. Like
government
I don't know what else to tell
to
you.
black. I
Like in
was
high
in black
school and
student
middle
union.
school, everyone's a fucking little shithead. There's cliques, there's popular kids, there's nerdy kids. I was in like the punk rock slash drug user kids because I had used a bunch of drugs. But I was like the nerdiest one out of all of us. Like out of everyone in that fucking group, I probably went. No, that's not true. My friend Greg is smarter than yeah, out of that group, smarter than me. Yeah, he's smarter than me. Greg is borderline. Like I'm not even trying to brag about this, but I'm incredibly smart. And just because Sophia loves to brag about accomplishments from when she was a kid, I fucking aced my SATs. Like I definitely whatever Sophia got, she probably didn't even fucking take any of them. She probably I didn't have to take them because XYZ because of my learning disability. By the way, like how the fuck did you get into UNM without taking like there's no way. Like what was your SAT scores? You probably need a bare minimum of like 400 to get into there. Which is or like sorry, not 400, like 680 maybe. Back then, if you're using it at 1600, if you're doing it out of 2400, you probably needed like a fucking 900. That's fucking nothing. Just so you guys know, that's a fucking 300 in each category. Like, disgusting low score. Maybe 1,000. So, like, what the fuck did you get on your SATs or ACTs where you went there? Just to flex on you, Tofia, and because I know you love to talk about shit from when you're kids, whatever the fuck your SAT score is, I fucking smoked it, I promise you. I fucking smoked it. I'll just say I scored above a 1400 out of 1600 and above a 2100 out of 2400. So
And then
I was in like
what
the
happened
top
is that
percentiles
black student union. Hold on, I'm trying to put my
for except for
phone.
one
What the heck?
category,
I
the
turn it
newest
on
one
and then
was
it
the
just doesn't
writing
go on.
category,
But
and that's the one
anyways,
they got rid
so
of.
then what happened was that at that time the
Actually, I did
girls
just
would
as good
talk
in that
about, because I hung
category
out
as
with these
well, but
girls.
not as bad.
Mind you, what do you talk about when you're in high
I
school?
did better than
Guys.
most
They were
people
interested
now
in
because it's
guys. I
new.
remember one time this
The
girl
people
liked
that
this
are in
guy
it
I was
have a
going to a
sense
school,
for you.
but they were
Anyway, just because
18,
she
so
likes to
they were
flex, she's flexing right now about being 18, 19 like shit in high school. I just wanted to flex on you a little bit today, Sophia. I fucking dumpstered you on the SATs. I know I'm fucking smarter than you. I know that you're stupid. I know what the Dunning-Kruger effect is. I know what I know and I know what I don't know.
able to
And I
go to
know what
college
you know
parties.
and what you
They were
don't know.
talking
And
about
what you
going to
don't
college
know could
parties
fill a fucking
and doing those things.
encyclopedia,
I couldn't. A lot of
ironically
people in my
enough,
high school was throwing house
because
parties
to
and getting
teach you what
busted
you
by
don't know
police.
would require an
I remember one
encyclopedia.
time someone said
So
they threw a house party so
that's the only
big
way you'd be able to do it,
that the whole
to
street
make the encyclopedia.
and the police were
Eh,
called. And I was just like,
yeah, that's what
I'm
you'd
not
have
going
to
to be
do.
rebellious and do that because if I got caught drinking or at a house party, my parents would have. But I remember this
Really?
one girl liked this boy. This was
Why?
so
Your
funny.
dad's
Oh
a
my god,
fucking
I don't even know what
psycho.
it
What are you
was.
talking
So,
about?
anyways, one time he's walking by lunch and she's like, "Oh my gosh, she's freaking out. How it is when you see the boy you like." And he walked right by her and he had this black mark on the back of his ear. It looked like he didn't wash
Once
his
again, she's talking
beard,
like child. You know
and
how
that
it
turned her
is when
off.
you
She was
see the boy that you like walk by. Sophia, I don't know how that is. I don't even remember what that was like when I saw the girl that I liked walk by. Like, what are you
not
fucking
after that. She's like,
talking
"No, I
about?
don't even
I
like
don't
her like that." I
remember
was like,
that.
"Walked by.
Like,
We were sitting there talking at the
what?
table because I used to hang
Like,
out with
why
them."
would I
We're all
remember
sitting.
like that fake love feeling that I got when I was 13 when I saw a girl that I was probably just mostly physically attracted to and not. It's like when you're that young, like you couldn't give a fuck probably about their personality, like when you're 13 to 15. So what are you talking about? Like,
Union. I did that when I was a senior. One of the clubs I took was jujitsu, so I learned some jujitsu, which was
oh
crazy. I
my
wanted to
God, you guys, Sophia claims she knows jujitsu. Watch out.
learn
It's a
jujitsu.
type of
My dad
jujitsu,
was a black belt in karate. He was going to teach us karate, but he never did.
Fatsu
And I said,
jitsu,
you know what? It would be cool to learn jujitsu. So I learned jujitsu. Hey,
tof,
cool, right? Anyways,
tofitsu, tofjitsu.
then my senior year, I did Black Student Union and hung out with the
You guys
girls
imagine
at lunch
Sophia
because I
trying to
didn't
do
really have any friends,
jujitsu?
and I
Like,
would
I
hang
mean, if
out
she
with them.
did get someone on the
And they would
ground,
just
she
talk
would
about
win the
what
match.
they would
Like if she got on top of
basically
them.
the parties they would go
If
to.
she was
They
in a
would go to
mounting
college
position, because how
parties,
the
and at
fuck are
that
you
time
gonna
I
move?
couldn't go
I mean,
anywhere.
unless they're the same
I didn't
size
really
as you, how the
have. They
fuck
probably
are you gonna
wouldn't
move
hung out
her,
with me outside of
Like
school
she's just on
anyways.
top of you,
It
even
wasn't
with
I
the
was
best
close
head
with them
kick,
like
you have no
that,
chance.
but I didn't really have friends. I just hung out with them, and
You
then
fucking want to get in
there
the
was this one class
octagon
where
with
we would all
Tofia,
sit. We
you
had our
guys? She
own
knows
separate
jujitsu, all right, and she
other
weighs
people,
as
and we would
much as a
sit in our
beluga
group and
whale.
just make
So
jokes. Oh, this one
good
kid,
luck if she even
Jonathan, he used
accidentally
to
lands
pick
on
on me
top of
all the
you. She's
time.
gonna
He loved
unload
picking
in
on
your
me. I
face,
couldn't even
and the
leave
smell's
class to
gonna
go
be
to my other
horrible. You're gonna
class
want to
because he would be picking
run.
on me.
You're
He
gonna want to
loved to
run
pick those
away just
lanyards
because
that
of that.
extend. Oh,
But
he went,
you're gonna
what?
be
That
stuck in
hurt.
the
And one
octagon
time,
with
the
her,
teacher was
the
laughing. I'm
fucking
like, this is not
ogre.
funny. You need to
Okay,
tell
like
us something.
you're
So
gonna
I
be
said,
stuck
look,
in the
he was
octagon
trying to
like
hit me with
this.
the lanyard,
Imagine that.
right? Because we had to wear our
Like
school IDs
imagine
like
you're a
that.
female
And I
UFC
was like,
fighter. You gotta
oh my
fight
God. And
this
then
in the
he wouldn't let me
octagon.
leave. He's like,
And like
you better
you
not
know
leave.
if
I'm
you
going
get
to.
just like
And I was
one
like,
good
dang,
headshot
I
in,
couldn't
like
leave.
one
I
good
was
kick
trapped
to
in
the
the
head in,
classroom. And
like you're
then
going
it was
down
funny.
like
We
a
had
fucking
this one
sack of
chair that had
potatoes.
no wheel. It was
But
missing one wheel.
man,
And
if
they
you
would
fuck
always
up and
set
she
it up.
falls
No,
forward on
and you
top of
wouldn't
you
even
and
pay attention. They were like
gets
rolling
mounted
chairs.
on you,
And
she's
if you
going
sat
to
down,
fucking
you would go
elbow the
flying.
shit out of you.
So they would prank in the
If
group. They
she's
would prank one
smart,
of us in the
Sophia
group, and they
be
would put that
landing.
chair there.
What she'll
And
do
if
is
you
she'll do
didn't
the
check for that
walrus.
chair,
She'll
because
try and
sometimes we would
land
just sit
right on
down,
top of someone,
they
like
thought it was
when they're
funny. I
going for a
remember I
move.
used to
She'll
see
just
people
like
fall off that chair
trick
because
them
it
out
was
and
missing a
fall
wheel,
forward.
and they would
And
prank
then,
people like that.
wait, I'm
And it
sorry.
like, dang, I couldn't leave. I was trapped in the classroom. And then it was funny. We had this one chair that had no wheel. It was missing one wheel, and they would always set it up. No, and you wouldn't even pay attention. They were like rolling chairs, and if you sat down, you would go flying. So they would prank in the group. They would prank one of us in the group, and they would put that chair there. And if you didn't check for that chair, because sometimes you would just sit down, they thought it was funny. I remember I used to
What
see
do you mean
people
in
fall
the
off that chair
group?
because it was
You
it
mean
was
your friends? This is what
missing
I
a wheel,
mean, you guys. Like,
and they would
who the
prank
fuck
people like that. And
describes,
that
like,
was the
and why
time
are
that
you
that one kid
talking
Justin
about
opened
that?
up
Like,
to us because they
yeah,
looked
when
at
I
him
was
and then they said
13,
out of nowhere, Jonathan,
what
I think
happened
it
when I
was,
was
he was like,
13? It
you're
makes me
gay.
think about something I did
And
with a
then he
friend when I was
looked
13. I can
at
definitely
everyone and he's
remember
like
perception,
slightly.
so I
And they
have
were
really good
slightly, what do
memory.
you
13,
mean?
14. That's how
And then
that's how
he
memory
explained the
works.
whole
Goes
story
between
about
8th
how
grade and 12th
he
grade. So
experimented dating with a guy and how his mom
trying to
was
think about
towards
what I
that.
was doing
I
when I
was
was
like,
13.
oh wow.
I was going to like
That he used
graduation
to have a
parties,
boyfriend and
where
that he
like girls and
experimented
boys,
dating with a guy
did
and that
like
made
each
him
other,
slightly
and they
gay. And I
were,
was like,
experimenting with
what?
dating
That
and
was so
stuff
random.
like that.
I just remember this stuff while it happened. I didn't have friends in school. I just hung out with people in class or
But these were
at lunch. I was just
like
trying to impress
friends, or
someone, and
like,
I don't
if
think
we got
I
invited
like
or if we
somebody
went
that
with
was on the
someone, or
basketball
like,
team. He
the
was
groups were
tall. He
there.
was 6 foot,
Yeah.
blue eyes. Played on the basketball basketball team, I got
He
jealous. He
was tall,
started to like
six
his
foot
friend that ran
was,
track. She ran cross country. That's what
but
my
she
brother did,
got.
ran cross
Sophia's
country.
talking
And then
about
I like
a
this.
guy she got a girl she got jealous about in fucking middle school or high school because a guy that she thought looked good in middle school or high school Definitely not into young teens, by the way, you guys. Sophia's only into adults, but she's just really turned on by this thought that she used to have about this young child. And she just thought it was really unfair that he decided to date who he wanted to. You know, what a fucking asshole. So,
So I had several people
hey,
that I liked. One of the guys was a skater. The other guy was, I don't know if he was
cool.
on the basketball team, but I
He
know
was
he
a
liked the Lakers,
skater.
and I know he liked Sierra. Anyways, Sierra, man, they were. What are you even talking about? I was in high
What are
school at
you
that
talking
time, which
about?
means we're the same age. Use your common sense. Gushing over a high schooler at
You
32.
are,
I was literally the
you
same
are,
age.
okay,
We were
so I'm
so.
so glad someone else just brought that up. Yes, you were the same age. You are not the same age now. And you were talking about them as if you're still attracted to the fact that they were a fucking, that they look, that you're still attracted to the way they
In the
looked when
same
they were
high
young.
school.
You
I hate when
just
people
get,
do
like, it
that,
was just
man. I
implied.
was literally the same age as that person because I was in high
It
school at the
doesn't
time.
matter.
I'm talking about my high school experience. I remember the girls because I remember at that time, Jersey Shore was popular. All the guys had their hair spiked like Jersey Shore. They had their hair spiked. They had it spiked like that, and all the girls had the poof. They would have their hair tied back.
I actually used this exact comparison before. Sophia, the reason people watch you is the same reason they watch Snooki. Not because they like her, that because they think she's good, because they think she has a nice personality, because they think she's a nice person. They watch Snooki to see her get drunk, argue with people, be obscenely narcissistic and selfish, and get punched in the face by strangers.
It
That's why we
was
love
straight ends
Snooki. You
with a
know, you want
poof.
to talk about
I
Jersey
remember the
Shore?
poof. Everybody
And I
had the
hated
poof.
Jersey
I
Shore, by the
remember
way. I
everybody
remember when
was
we
in
got to
Jersey Shore. At that
college, it was
time,
like the second or
there was
third
a lot
season.
of
It was like
I
full
remember
swing.
all what
Everyone
you call
into
it pop
it,
culture back
and I
then.
hated it.
People,
I
I
fucking
remember the girls would
still
talk
hate
because at
that
that
show.
time,
There's
the
a few
Disney
channels I
Channel
like
was
that have done
popular,
videos on it, and I
and
just
that's
can't
when the
even watch
Jonas
those.
Brothers
Like
was
I
dating Miley
despise the show.
Cyrus. What was it?
It
Nick
really was
Jonas
kind of the peak of
dated Miley
reality TV
Cyrus, and
at
Joe Jonas
Memphis,
dated
but
Demi Lovato. And I remember the girls at school would be
like
talking
once
about that.
they,
Oh
I
my
don't know,
God, did you dating? And
the
then
show went
I
downhill
remember the show
rapidly,
that
as you
went
would expect.
popular, right? It was RuPaul's Drag Race. I knew a lot of people in school that watched RuPaul's Drag Race. I used to watch RuPaul's Drag Race when I was a teenager. I've been watching that since Carmen Carrera, Jujubee, Shangela, and so I remember Flavor of Love came out, and everybody was talking about that. My
Flavor of
family, my
Love,
dad,
yeah.
my mom, my brother, we were all into Flavor of Love. We tuned in every week. And I remember I went to school.
They
That was
just are
the
dying
ending
to
when
know who
Pumpkin
Flava
spit
Flav picks.
on New York, and I
Are you kidding me? You guys want to hear a funny Flava Flav story, by the way? My uncle was a New York City police detective for essentially his entire life until he retired to do, excuse me, until he retired to do like some private security for a while before he fully retired. And he told me a crazy story when him and I don't remember, it was when he beat like a patrol or when he was like a detective at that point, but my family's mostly they're from the South Bronx. The area they moved to now is more like 242nd Street, for anyone knows New York City at all, like that area. That's where they've all kind of ended up, except for two of us, you know, like my cousins and my dad's one uncle were closer to us up here, north of New York City, and the rest of them are like in it. Like, sorry, hang on one second, you guys. My fucking headset, of course. That basically what I'm trying to say is like we live in a mix of areas of like completely urban, like New York City, with huge suburbs, and he was a New York City police detective, and when he was driving through the Bronx one day, more like 242nd area street area, and anyone who knows that area knows the McDonald's that I'm talking about, or not. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. I'm starting to sound like I'm a tourist. Anyone who knows that area by the train station knows about the fucking Burger King, okay? You know about that Burger King there. If you've ever been to the fucking 242nd Street, end of the line subway station, you know about the fucking Burger King. Well, they got a call that there was a naked guy at the Burger King at the drive-through window trying to get an order. And so, no, I'm sorry, he wasn't trying to get an order. He was just naked outside of the McDonald's. That's another story. That's a different story, not with Flava Flav, with someone else. And they went there, and they could tell it was him because, you know, he has a pretty distinctive look. He's not that tall, and he had his fucking clock on still. So Flava Flav's in the middle of the fucking Bronx, not the worst area of it, but like
just in the middle of the fucking Bronx with no clothes on and the gigantic clock around his neck. And they roll down their windows and they go, "Hey brother, you know what time it is?" And he goes, "Time?" And he looks and he realizes he doesn't have a watch on. He's like, "Sorry man, I don't know what the fuck time it is." And they're like, "Dude, get over here." And they're like, "What is going on with you?" I'm pretty confident that he said that he had smoked a bunch of PCP, which would fit. And they're like, "Dude, get in the car. We're going to get you out of here. Get, like, you're naked in the middle of the street." They didn't want to arrest him for it because, like, he wasn't being, you know, like, he wasn't being an asshole about it. Dude was just fucked up on, you know, he was just fucked up in the middle of the Bronx, you know? It's like, dude, get in the fucking car. And it's still one of the funniest Flavor Flav stories I've ever heard because it's true. You know, that shit happened. I believe my uncle, okay? I don't know why he would lie about something like that. It would make no sense. Or lie about it to me, you know? Instead of, like, strangers and
New York,
shit.
I remember that when everyone at
Why
school
am
was
I not
talking
getting
about that.
audio
And then
right now, you
Russell
guys? Hang on a second, I literally cannot hear her, and I'm almost at the end of this, and I'll be, like, really pissed if I can't hear her. Still can't hear you. I'm gonna refresh this. Oh shit, what time is it? Fuck, I don't know what time I was just at. Well, it'll be the part where she's talking about Flavor of Love, I know that much.
And
Why is there no
everybody
fucking
was
sound?
talking
Is this
about
from
that.
OBS?
My family,
Oh,
my
it is.
dad,
Hang on,
my
hang on a
mom,
second,
my
you
brothers,
guys.
we were all into Flavor.
Sorry.
We tuned in.
Hang on. I know you guys can hear me, you probably can't hear her, and my OBS is bugging out right now. Hang on. I have to change my audio. No. Fuck. Property. Alright, hang on a second. 1 second, you guys. Alright, I'm back, you guys. I just stopped the recording to try and figure that out. I guess I could have maybe figured it out while paused, but I was worried that, like, OBS, the set, like, it would have been impossible to recover it because of using the Bluetooth and stuff. So, anyway, this is the end. I'm actually going to just combine. This is going to be short, the rest of this, and I'm just going to combine it with the first file. And it won't be that long. I mean, it's going to be over an hour. I really was aiming for an hour with this. This is much better time than normal, but still not where I want it. Still too
much. I
remember
I went to school, that was the ending when Puppy spit on New York, and I went to school, and I remember
the only reason I even know who New York's a person is because of the story I just told. When I heard that story, I googled Flavor Flav, and I learned about his show, and I heard about New York. She got her own show, I remember. Something like Finding Love in New York, or like Loving something so stupid, you know, like based on the stupidest name ever. So like, my child's name is Tokyo. Like, it's a joke.
I remember that when everyone at school was talking about that. And then
who cares? Everyone at your school was what? What?
Undertaker and his streak. I watched WrestleMania because of Undertaker's streak.
Did I
my dad, my mom, and Sonic Guerrero. We tuned in. I remember that when everyone at school was talking about that.
Everyone she went to school with was talking about the flavor of love. Look, I know that these shows were like popular, and I'm only a little bit older than Tophia, so I would have been right around the same age when these. I would be a little bit older, so like they might be either slightly more attractive or slightly less attractive, depending on how adult they are. But what the fuck are you talking about?
Undertaker and his streak.
And now we're on to WrestleMania. I hated wrestling because I knew it was fake. All my friends loved it. I hate it. I still hate it today. I don't know how it's bigger than ever. It baffles me.
Undertaker's streak.
It's just a soap opera for men, like, which I guess if that's what you want, cool.
I will never forgive WWE for doing that. I hate Brock Lesnar. I was like, and who Undertaker loses his streak to Brock Lesnar?
What do you? Who cares? Who cares about any of this? Tophia, who cares what wrestler you like? Who cares what wrestler you hated? You're the fucking virtue signaling fucking bitch ass queen of virtue signaling. What does this have to do with helping anybody, with bringing awareness to anybody, with doing any of the stuff you complain about nobody doing all the time? How you as an influencer have all this power to do all this stuff. Like, what are you talking about? Why are we talking about WrestleMania?
Wrestling at that time.
And wrestlers. How are these people relevant to everything you talked about and ranted and bitched at people about for the first 30 minutes of this video?
I was a huge wrestling fan. That was at the time that CM Punk was still wrestling.
Lazy fucking.
Ed Cena, The Undertaker.
Lazy leech.
She's
Just a leech, you guys.
Wrestling. My dad's a wrestler. Every wrestler over there. Goldust, a Boogeyman. Who else? The Undertaker. D-Generation X, and I can really get into it already. Me and my friend both loved Jeff and Matt Hardy. She was a huge fan. And I remember getting the posters at Walmart, and I got an Undertaker poster. I got a Jeff and Matt Hardy poster. Where
He was like the Undertaker was like the only wrestler I knew that I would ever root for, just because I thought his mask was cool. So like anytime I'd be at my friend's house, they'd be like, "Yo, we're watching wrestling." I'd be like, "I don't want to watch fucking wrestling." I'd be like, "Well, if the Undertaker's on, I just cheer for him because I know nothing about him." And anytime we ever played like a wrestling video game, which I also fucking hated, I would always pick him. Because he's the only wrestler I like could recognize or know, you know? Because I think he wore a mask, right? Also, wasn't he like brother? Like, wasn't he like wrestling brothers with like another guy, or like real life brothers with another guy in the WWE? I don't know. I know there's a brother element involved with the Undertaker.
Streaming me playing Fortnite because I can't. Safety reasons.
She can't stream Fortnite for safety reasons, you guys. Take from that what you will. Because she's not talking about IP addresses and getting hacked, and like she's not talking about that. She's talking about she can't stream where she is inside for safety reasons, either for herself to not get her ass whooped or kicked out, or because of the residents there. Maybe it does have domestic violence victims there, and seeing where they are would be really bad for them. That's crazy. That's crazy. You're in a place that you can't even stream, but you're so happy to not have a job and not have a boss. You literally can't even turn on a stream when you want to because of where you are, but you're so happy that you don't have a boss to work for, that you're not making anyone else money. You're so stupid. It's unbelievable. This is where we're gonna end, you guys.
Don't forget to subscribe for more video.
Yeah, because with this extra couple minutes here and with what I already did, that's it for Tophia. Yeah, she is a femcel right now. She is super in heat, as Santoki would say. Yeah, just what a nasty person, as always. Like, and this whole thing was her virtue signaling about how other people like don't do shit, and then the last like 7 minutes was her doing exactly what she had just talked about, which is the most classic Tophia ever. Again, her and Donald Trump are the only two people I know that can say something like, "We're not gonna bomb that country." Well, we already bombed that country, in the same sentence within a word. Like Donald Trump would be like, we're gonna go to the table with them. But first, we're going to decimate them. You know, we're going to decimate them in their military. Then we'll see if they want to meet us at the table. Or Tophia will be like, you know, Tophia will say something. I'm trying to find a good analogy. Because she's so. She'll be like, I have never done that in my life. Never. Well, except for that one time I just did it recently. But besides that, I've never done it. So anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. Tophia, keep us with content. Keep us laughing. Sorry this one's long and I'm trying to get them better. Hopefully this one's better. Take it easy, you guys.